while ago, I made a TTA championship belt video, and I thought, okay, this is a fun, goofy video, whatever. And I sent it off, and it turns out I messed up. And I messed up in what I think is the funniest way because it was completely unintentional, but it's what I would have done intentionally if I was trying to troll, right? And I think the funniest kind of prank or way to troll someone is when you do it without meaning to at all. It just happened to happen either because your personality happened to do the thing that would cause it anyway, or it's just an honest mistake. Either way, I'm incredibly tickled by this because I made a big screw up in the last championship belt ranking. But first, let's go over what the championship belt consists of. What I did was the first person to win a tournament becomes the reigning champion of the championship belt, Kaus Debonair, and then the next person to beat them takes the belt from them. So Grat beats Kaus in TTAC 1, thanks to Dalamar for collating the results for me. Then Grat loses to Varncast and SE Yuffie. Important rule: you cannot lose the championship belt in the tournament you gained it. Otherwise, it would just always go to like the winner of the next tournament, and I don't think that would be fun. So it can move once per tournament with one exception. If a tournament, if the belt is won by someone who does not play any more tournaments after, rather than letting them retire with the belt, they can indeed lose the belt during that tournament. The next person they lose to will count as winning the belt from them. So Kaus loses it to Grat. Grat loses it to Varncast. Varncast loses it to Spike Spiegel. Spike Spiegel loses it to Mosquite. Mosquite loses it to Art of Sin, who loses it to Kaus, who becomes our first two-time championship belt holder. Loses it to Darkblade. Loses it to Vid. Loses it to Rebirth. Loses it to Dream Virus. Loses it to Yevon. Wins it back from Yevon. So Dream Virus wins it a second time, becomes our second two-timer. Loses it to Meta, who loses it to Ace. That is Ace's final tournament, so rather than let it go dormant, Ace loses in the semifinals to Turds, so loses it to Turds, who loses it to Great Sephiroth, who loses it to Scythe. And this is where we got to the problem, because Scythe, as you can see here, wins the championship belt from Great Sephiroth. The problem is, I then just... Oops, I scrolled to the wrong point, sorry. Where were we? We were at TTAC 6, which Scythe wins the whole event, including beating Great Sephiroth. Sorry for the obnoxious scrolling. There's probably a faster way, but this will get there eventually. Right. So Scythe wins TTA 6, beating Great Sephiroth in the finals. Now, if we search for the next appearance of Serenity, we see he played the next tournament, Irvine, and in the Irvine finals, he loses to Delial. And I just skipped this. And I went to the next result. I don't know why I skipped this. I just mashed past it, apparently. And I went to Triad Wars 7, where I beat Scythe, and I thought I took the championship belt for the first time. Apparently, Deli beat Scythe first. So I accidentally gave myself a championship belt and took one from Deli. What could look more like I was defrauding this? Like, there's no way a jury is believing I didn't do this intentionally, right? And which I think is like, as I said, the funniest way to have a troll go. I did not realize this at all. Total mistake, but absolute funniest outcome. Because if you said, okay, in Wazzup's video, he's gonna cheat and give himself something and take something away from someone else to give it to himself. Who will he take it away from? You'd guess Deli. You'd get it exactly right. So, excellent work by me, and I'd like to follow out who actually gets the championship belt now that we correctly identify it doesn't go to me, it goes to Delial. This is Delial's first time getting the belt, and we'll see how he does with it. He beats MC, he beats Foyer, he beats Noin, and he loses back to Scythe. Scythe regains the belt, gets it a second time. This was an incredible 3-tournament run from Scythe. So, okay, Serenity is our new title belt holder. Apologies that it keeps essentially jumping over to the right of the spreadsheet. I added people's names an extra time, and it makes when I scroll through it like we're doing here, it a lot less pleasant. So Serenity loses in the semifinals to me, but again, I don't get the belt because it has already changed hands in this tournament. He beats Yoshikin and loses to Reeker. So Reeker, as of SE Sid, becomes our new belt holder. From Reeker, Reeker beats Midas and loses to Slash of Time, but this is the same tournament he won the belt, so it does not change hands. We need to find Reeker's next loss. Beats Waltz, nice win, and loses to Noin in TTAC 7. So now we need, okay, yeah, we need Noin. Noin beats Reeker, beats MC, nice win, loses to Black Mamba, but it's the same tournament that Noin gained the belt, so we have to find. But this is Noin's last time with the belt. So, it does change hands. Black Mamba is our new belt holder. Alright. Black Mamba loses in the semis to Yojimbo, but it can't change hands in the same tournament. It would be very funny in this version. In the last version, Seto never got the championship belt. But in this one, I might not. Yojimbo might not. Deli has. Seto might not. You know, you might have. Doc Evil never did. You might have, like, 3 of the big 5 never get the championship belt. That would be fun. I'm rooting for it. So let's see Black Mamba's next tournament. Black Mamba lost to Phipps. Alright, Phipps gains the championship belt. Phipps is the all-time wins leader. Phipps does indeed play again. Loses in the next round to Slash of Time. Slash of Time has almost gained the belt, but again, you can't gain the belt in the same tournament they gained it. And they gained it in round 1 of this tournament. So, instead... Oh, wait, did I just get past again? Instead, loses it to Kazik in Triad Wars 13. So, Now, Phipps does play again, but takes the championship belt and disappears for 5 years. And that's kind of a shame that no one gets to hold the belt. So we could say that Phipps loses it to Slash of Time. We could say, instead of saying, if you never play again, you lose the belt, we could say, if you don't play for like multiple years, you can't run away with the belt for multiple years. I think that's correct, but we're gonna come back to that, and we're gonna finish from here. So Phipps loses it to Kazik in 2013. Kazik can't have too many tournament games left. Yeah, that's Kazik's final tournament game. So there's the question of who does it go to if the person never lost again. They didn't play their next round. One option is it goes to whoever wins that tournament by whoever beat them by activity. Another is it goes to whoever won the tournament. However, we have a kind of similar spot with Triad Freak, but I think it should go to who won the tournament. That's my instinct, though it might not work here. Dalamar sent me a version where it goes to who beat them by activity, in which case it would go to Cool Spot and then to Yevon, and our current champion would be Addy. That's fun, but let's see this way. Triad Freak gets it by winning the tournament that it was last held in. And then Triad Freak loses to Borchardt in TTAC 13. So we have schisms here. You can argue it different ways. Borchardt loses to Acela in TTAC 13, which is the last time Borchardt ever played. So it does go to Acela. Who beats Borchardt and wins TTAC 13. And then in Nephilim, loses to Wazzup, so I do get a belt here. And then I'm going to lose it to Piggyman. And then Piggyman, oops, went too far. Just do the results, so it kind of just mashed ahead. Wait, no. I win Triad Wars 14, and then I lose it to Piggyman. But Piggyman never plays another tournament, so it's going to go to the person who beat Piggyman in TTAC 14, which is Tezuka, and Tezuka was then defeated by Turds. So the belt does end up in the same place it ended up, but you could also do it if you did it the person who beat by activity rather than the person who won the tournament the title was last held in, then it could be held by Addy. So the version I did before, despite me cheating Delial out of a championship belt, which I am deeply sorry for, that version, Turds is the current championship belt holder. This version, where I tried to fix it, Turds is the current championship belt holder. However, if you consider it to be the next activity win, then Addy is the current championship belt holder. And we have one more thing to check, which is if Mick, by disappearing, forfeited the title. If you disappear for 5 years, the title should go to someone else. So we got to go back to Triad Wars 8. So we have a schism here, right? There's a few different ways we could do it. You could say Turds is the belt holder. You could say Addy is the best belt holder. Or we're going to find out one last option for belt holder. So Phipps... No, we want the result before that. Phipps loses to Slash of Time in Selfie. So we need Slash of Time. Congrats to Slash of Time. This is his first belt. Slash of Time loses to Fisto, but that is the same tournament, so can't change. And in Triad Wars 8, Slash loses to Delial. Once again, I am just out here robbing Delial of rightful titles with my mistakes. Delial ends up going out to Seto, but that doesn't count. Can't lose the belt the tournament you won it. And so we move on to S.E. Barrett, where he loses to Wazzup. So I get a title somewhere. I lose to MC, I believe, shortly after. Yeah, but we can't lose it in the same tournament, so we have to go to the next tournament. TTAC 8, I win the title match. In Squall, I'm going to lose to Kamikaze. So Kamikaze wins the title belt in Squall. Alright, where will it go next? We may have landed back on the track I was on the first time. He loses it back to Slash of Time in Triad Wars 10. Who loses to me, but that doesn't count. Same tournament. And his next loss is to MC in Nanaki. Now, MC is annoying to search for because it also brings up Phipps Mick. And we're past Nanaki. Loses to Chickeny and Cloud. Congrats to Chickeny on the championship belt. Chickeny loses to Yojimbo, but that's also in Cloud, so that's the same tournament. And Chickeny loses to Akiyama in Triad Wars 12. Oh no, I started my search way too early. I didn't click to where we were, so we're going to have to skip ahead a bit to Triad Wars 12. Can't lose at the same tournament, so we're into Sephiroth. Who will Akiyama lose to in Sephiroth? The answer is Yojimbo. So Yojimbo takes the crown now. For I think the second time. Loses to Slash, but that's the same tournament. And the next tournament loses to Delial. Delial's held the title a lot of times in this version. I really cheated him bad. Alright, Delial takes the championship belt for the billionth time. And then he goes on to lose to Yojimbo. Yojimbo reclaims the belt. Now Yojimbo loses to Akiyama here, but that's the same tournament, so you might be thinking can't change hands, but it can because this is the last tournament Yojimbo played. So Akiyama reclaims the belt. And Akiyama loses to Triad Freak, and then it comes back over. So by this version, because Triad Freak loses to Borchardt, right? Sorry, I didn't keep my place very well. But Triad Freak loses to, after winning Triad Wars 13, loses to Borchardt. Borchardt loses to, we just did this, Acela. Acela loses to Wazzup. Wazzup loses to Piggyman. Piggyman loses to Tezuka. And Tezuka loses to Turds. So we've now done 4 versions of the championship belt. And 3 of them, the championship belt is now held by Turds. And in 1 of them, it is now held by Addy. So we can only hope that in the next tournament they are either paired, so that one of them can have locked it in. But then if they lose in a later round, no. What we need is someone to beat both of them in the same tournament to reunite the championship belt. On the other hand, I think the Addy version is not how I want to do this. So I'm going to say Turds is the championship belt holder, and I did deny Dully many times holding the title by defrauding him here, but we still got the right outcome, and this is still, goofy project. So hope you enjoyed this update and that I am a complete fraud.